Okay.
Excellent. So, hello everyone. Today I have Samuel Latter, who has agreed to come on my channel. I am ever so grateful that you have agreed to come on my channel. And we met really randomly in a coffee shop locally.
Yeah,
We're not
the
going to say who
Costain.
it is.
Yeah, the drive to
Yeah.
Costain, just opposite the
Other coffee
Dunelm
shops
Airport.
are available. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it was really random. So yeah, I went there with my son, and you were there, and you were drawing, and my son was drawing,
Yeah,
and
huge
we
coincidence.
look at and it was, and we just got chatting, and I was like, I've just started a YouTube channel, and you were like, well, I do art and I'm a writer and I'm always
Yeah,
looking for ways to, show people what it is that I do. And it kind of went from there, really, hasn't it? So
yeah,
we've been talking on and off over the last few weeks.
yeah.
You are very openly autistic. And you've also
Mhm.
been on the show Undatables. And I do remember you from I didn't recognize you at first because I'm not expecting to see people that have been on TV, and I'm not very good at knowing if people are like celebrities or anything like that. I'm really rubbish. But um
Mhm.
yeah, when you said, I was like, oh my god, yes, we have seen every single episode of Undatables. We love that show. We genuinely do. So what was it like, Samuel, to have cameras recording you,
Well,
particularly on a date? Because that's a really, you're really vulnerable, aren't you, when you're on a date
yeah,
with somebody? You're already nervous. What was that like?
yeah. I mean, the only bad part was actually hearing my own voice and seeing myself on the camera. But it
Yeah.
was at first I really didn't think of it like that because it wasn't really. I mean, I couldn't hear. I see when I hear my own voice from the outside perspective. Obviously it doesn't really I can't hear it the same way, but when it's on camera it's just a whole different story. And,
Yeah.
but yeah, the the experience was sort of, it was actually a lot of fun. So they actually paid for my food and my drinks, but at the time I even see I was hoping that something. I mean, I did make a, but I did actually achieve quite a bit from it. I was hoping I'd achieve a great deal.
Mm.
One of the things I would say is that um, my mom actually told me for a reason that people were complaining about the undatables, that the people, the candidates, their special needs are being exploited on there to be made fun of,
Wow.
and that's what some people were saying. And I heard actually mixed messages about that,
Yeah.
mixed myths about that, or rumors, and it's a shame really that they're not going to do the Undatables again, because I really did like the show, and for what it's worth, I'm glad I went on it. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have to admit I was a bit embarrassed about things like how I would come across, and how uh, you know what I would look like, and how people would react to seeing like that, and like, oh, look at him, he's not. But everyone actually thought I was a gentleman. Everyone liked me, really loved me, and really thought
Yeah.
I was the most wonderful person. I went on Facebook and I saw a lot about this one video clip. It's actually on it's on Facebook. It's called "Romance Isn't Dead," the Undatables, and
Right.
it just happens to have a lot of comments about me, um, uh, being this wonderful person in a 1950s world or something, and and some of them even wanted to. Some of them did actually contact me about that and said I was a wonder. They are actually very nice people, very
Good.
nice comments
Good.
on there, and
I'm really glad.
I'm grateful for that.
You know,
The Well, I mean, at first, I'll confess, I was actually a bit worried that I could have gotten some very harsh feedback from people who were going to judge me and all that, because I've had plenty of that on YouTube in the past, defending a celebrity who made a mistake a few years ago,
mhm.
and I'm not going to get too much into that, but
No,
you know,
no, no, we don't need to. I just think that, I mean, we absolutely loved you. We thought you were fantastic. And, it's really brave for anyone. It doesn't matter, whether you have a diagnosis or don't have a diagnosis of anything in particular. Like, as a human being, it's very brave to put yourself out there. And, that is what I probably admire the most,
yeah,
is that you went out there and you said, this is me. This is, completely who I am. And people find it really difficult to be authentic, to be themselves, to be able to go
Yeah.
and do something like that and
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
be
sorry.
brave enough to show who they are. So this is one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on my channel, really,
I'm
because
glad to be on.
I think you're great. I think you're
Thank
great.
you.
And also at the same time, you have more experience of being autistic, and I want to learn about that from my son, because my son is autistic as well. And that was the other thing that we ended up talking about, that that you both had similar interests in that sense, and you're both quite similar from an autism perspective, because autism is such a huge spectrum of different traits and personalities. No one autistic person is the same as another autistic person. Everybody's an individual, just the same way that I'm not diagnosed autistic, but I'm an individual. So it's about going that extra mile and getting to know the person that you're talking to, isn't it? What were you going to say?
But I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing is, you wouldn't even know that I'm autistic because
No,
I
no.
don't necessarily, you see a lot of, you see many people with autism, and sometimes it comes across as physically noticeable, not
Yeah.
necessarily in behavior, but in general appearances. Like, for instance, what syndromes do they overlap with, or like Down syndrome, or something like cerebral palsy. When there's a disability, it's visible. You wouldn't even know from me because
Yeah.
I am autistic. I have to admit that, and no shame in that, right? But yeah, it's not as obvious as if anyone asked if I was autistic, then I'd be very surprised. But to be honest, I didn't even. I mean, as a child, it might have been a little bit more noticeable, but not very. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, and obviously, Mom, your phone's ringing. Sorry. Yeah, I
It's
mean,
okay. We could just dance. Awesome.
I
Yeah.
can hardly bring myself to do that normally, but
So the thing is that it's quite common knowledge that people who are autistic are incredibly clever, like super clever in
yeah,
very specific areas. And you have superpowers, and you are, like I've said on screen here, you're an artist and a writer.
yeah,
So, yeah. So
yeah.
how does writing help you?
Well,
What
see,
does
I
it?
can actually see.
I
I
mean,
usually
is it
get time
just?
to manifest my feelings. Oh, sorry, you were gonna say?
Oh, no, no. I was just gonna say, is it a passion? Is it just a passion? Is
Well,
something
it's
for you, or
partly a
is it
passion, but
helpful for you?
see, I actually wrote this in my autobiography that I never managed to publish. When I
Okay.
was 19 years old, and this is actually going back 10 years. I mean, 10 years ago from this interview right now. Um, I actually was going to see Men in Black 3. It was actually it was at the Ramsgate Film Cinema. I actually had a £10 note. Don't ask me where I got it from. I can't get into that. But, actually, okay, well, yeah, I did actually. I have to admit, I was a lot younger, and I actually
Don't.
when
If
I took.
it's illegal, don't say anything.
Well, it was from a family member, but
That's
yeah,
fine.
I actually lost the £10 note on the bus, and I was very, very upset about that.
Oh no.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know it was only £10, but that ruined my day.
Right.
So that actually pushed me into a corner, and then I had this little idea come up that maybe because my grandmother always wanted me to write, and she thought I'd be a millionaire by now if I actually wrote lots of stories.
Hmm.
The So I actually thought about that for a minute, and then I thought to myself, well, I've got nothing to lose. I've lost a £10 note, so I might as well actually give this a try. I might as well give it a try. So at first it was for money. At first I wanted to write stories for money. Then I actually found out the hard way that many years later that even though I didn't really officially get anything finished because I keep all these things going on in my head and I get distracted very easily,
Hmm.
I did actually finish a project uh, in 2019. I can't remember which one it was. I can't remember the title, but I remember it was actually I actually sent it to an autism publisher.
Hmm.
I think, and they rejected it. They said it wasn't suitable for their list, and they didn't even help me find someone else. So, and from what I've been hearing from people since, there's too much competition in this world, and the odds of you getting a book published. I mean, they've got a lot of writers out there now, so the odds of you. It's like trying to win it. It's like trying to win the lottery at or a slot machine in a casino in Las Vegas. So, and I have been
Mm,
to Las Vegas, so I know exactly what I'm talking about there.
mm,
But yeah, that see, I couldn't officially publish anything, but it still became a passion. Then I thought to myself, well, with a bit of help from and advice from some of my staff at my care home, Cleveland House, why don't I actually try to make this into? Why don't I just try to build a website so I can put all my stories onto there, and see if I could actually do something with it there. So
mhm.
that's what I. So I haven't. So that's what I thought of going along with. Needless to say, I actually haven't officially made a website yet. I mean, I was going to make one called on Wix, but um, then my password seemed to have blocked out, so I couldn't access it properly.
Okay.
But but I could try accessing another website, establishing another website, one I could get full access to,
Mm.
um, and the images as well. So when I actually started drawing, that was in 2018 when I finally had some sense to essentially draw by pencil, and I had been practicing quite a lot. Anything that looked disproportionate, I would actually have to rub out with a rubber because you see, I'm
Mm.
actually with rubbers, and I keep constantly making mistakes when I draw too fast or just try to draw something a line in one go, and
Yeah.
unless it's a whisker, because whiskers I can do very easily. But
Yeah.
yeah, then images, pictures, drawings, stories, text bubbles, and I see. I'm all about promoting myself, and that's how I do it through my art. I can manifest what I'm trying to achieve through my art, and
Right.
through my as well.
So yeah, this is something that we talked about and it blew me away when you said it because I asked you why do you do the art? Do you just love doing it, or and you said that you use your art to manifest what you want in life, and I
Yeah.
absolutely love that. So what is it that you're manifesting and
What I'm hoping to
through your art?
what I'm hoping to manifest is actually well, it's to manifest my dreams and the achievements I've set out to make realistically, because I'm not actually necessarily after money necessarily now. I might like to. I mean, it would be nice to go on holiday, go to places like Greece, France, Japan, China,
Mm.
Australia, Thailand, anywhere really, or Tasmania, because I actually have family out there, and they
Wow.
actually they're very wonderful people. I mean, my brothers so my brother even he loves them too. My I think my dad my dad has a brother and he actually went and his brother actually went many years ago in the 1970s I think to Tasmania where they were actually I think they were promoting people to go there and live there
Mhm.
and that's what he did. Um,
Wow.
so I think he settled down and had a family and those were and all be the same. That was where my cousins came from
Hmm.
and that's how my cousins came to be. And so they've got children of their own, and that's how. And in 2016, see, I actually wrote I was working on a story there, but I went to Australia. I went to Australia with my family. We actually met up with our cousins there. First time I ever went was 2008. So this is the second time I went, 2016.
Hmm.
And I remember, see, I've actually done some art recently about that year, about a character that I've tried to pretend I am in the art, and that character is called Arthur,
Hmm.
Arthur the mouse, and see, he actually meets this girl called Daisy, the Tasmanian devil, in a nightclub.
Hmm.
Except that she's not necessarily she's not black furred. These are all characters that I actually try to manifest through my art, based on animals and based on the kind of people I want to meet in real life. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to look like I expect them to look like animals with makeup on. I'm
Yeah.
just see that's not the point of my art.
No, of
It's all
course.
pretend.
So one of the things that you want to manifest through your art
Yeah,
is love. That's why you went on Undatables in the first place. So are you
romance. That's right.
single?
Yeah,
Yeah, romance. Are you single at the moment?
yeah. I'm single at the moment, but I'm not overly desperate. I mean, it would be nice to have a partner or a romantic girlfriend,
But
but
the right partner. Yeah, the right sort
Yeah,
of.
someone who's obviously more suitable, I suppose.
Yeah.
Someone who's
So
obviously not necessarily good looking, even though it might help. But I'd say that it would help if they were just on my level, or they actually understood me, or
absolutely.
at the very least, they understood someone with autism, and they
Yeah.
obviously didn't mind, or there was a mutual connection between the both of us, a mutual
Yeah.
connection,
Absolutely.
mutual
So
interests.
we do want to show some of your art, which does that people will see that it does depict romance, and
Ah,
you've got
yeah.
your characters in there. You've got your Tasmanian devil,
Also, yeah.
Sash,
Yeah.
mice, don't we?
Also, there's a cat. There's a cat in the. There's actually. Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. But there's
It's
actually a
fine.
cat in the story.
Yeah.
Dancing with Arthur the mouse.
Yeah.
Originally, the original character was called Tony, but in the story he actually creates an alter ego of his own called Arthur, and that's what Arthur comes in the mouse. See,
Okay.
Tony is
Well,
everything like me. Sorry.
let's show the art, and then you can tell us a little bit about.
Yeah. See that
Yeah.
that's sorry. My brain- Yeah. That's the that's what Tony actually wanted to manifest in his own interest. So that's
Yeah.
why in the story he creates Arthur. It's a subatomic story where atoms are able to um, allow for possibilities like this. So yeah, so the cat is obviously. I actually did come up with a story where she actually accidentally hits him with a car, but he's okay. He's all right,
Oh
and
my
he
goodness.
actually forgives her, and then they obviously meet at a nightclub. It's a very similar scenario. Then they obviously go for a date.
Mhm. Yeah.
After
Awesome.
that, the other script I wrote was I actually wrote a script called Tony Meets Nina. And that
Yeah.
script was based on Tony himself, me
Mhm.
in human form. The character is autistic, but he's looking for someone who with either with or without autism. And he meets this girl called Nina, who at first is a bit suspicious of him, thinks he's a weirdo or a nut job, doesn't really realize that he has special needs autism. It just mistakes it for someone who's an alcoholic or on drugs or something. And the friend wants him to go away as well, the friend of Nina. So then a witness gets involved, talks to him by the bar and says to him, uh, what happened? Why did she tell you to leave? And he's all like, because I'm autistic. I mean, how can I achieve love now? I mean, how can I achieve love like this? No one, I mean, everyone overlooks me because I'm special needs. So the witness tells him, no, 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 no. Just because you have autism, just because that's a part of your nature, because you have a difference there, doesn't mean you'll never achieve romance or anything like that. You still have the ability to achieve. Autism it's not a weakness. It doesn't necessarily stop you. You, if you really are looking for romance, then it might be more difficult. But it's never impossible. Never impossible.
Yeah.
So the witness goes over to help support Tony in terms of this, and uh, to she tells Nina that he's obviously single. He's very sorry for what he said. He's autistic. He doesn't have a lot of friends. He's already very sorry for what he said. So she gets mortified, then apologizes to him, offers him a drink as a token of apology, and then they have a bit of a talk, and he shows him her art. He shows him he shows her
Mhm.
some of his art, and one of them is actually of an elephant in the Taj behind the Taj Mahal, and that's when she offers him a date and a drink after she finds out how lovely he is, and at that date they obviously kiss at the end. So it's a very romantic love story and a very successful one too.
Awesome.
And the reason
Awesome.
I wrote that in the
Brilliant.
first place was because so I could achieve something like that in real life.
Yeah. It's
It was,
a great way of doing it. People, are trying to manifest all the time, and visuals are a really good way of doing that. But
yeah.
actually creating that art as that visual is absolutely brilliant. I love it.
I
So
mean,
what
I always
about
want,
oh,
yeah.
it's gone forward too much. So what about this one?
Oh, see, that is a tribute. That's the tribute to 2016, the year I went
Okay.
to Australia. See, that's Daisy the that's Daisy the Tasmanian devil. That's Daisy the Tasmanian devil.
Yeah.
She is See, she's actually she's a bit of a wild dancer. She's crazy. She's a piece of work, I'll tell you. In Arthur's eyes, and Arthur is actually the one who and he and she start dancing together, and then they obviously get a little bit intimate with the dancing, not too intimate, but then she actually brings him back to her family. They find out what a lovely family she has, and actually, I never really finished the story from there, but I am actually working on it currently. I don't know if I'll see if I can finish it, but I can't guarantee I ever will because these stories usually get lost in the plot.
Of course, yeah. Well, we've got 4 pictures particularly to show here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
keep skipping one. Right, we've got this one.
Yeah, this is this is just a random image that I did actually cobble that together. But it's
yeah, it's quite abstract in the background.
If you look in the background, it's if you can probably see my face. Someone actually thought I looked a bit like Arnold Schwarzenegger in the middle of the next to the Tasmanian, right behind the Tasmanian devil. Right behind
Yeah.
Sorry, knows. Yeah.
That's okay.
And those atom balls are actually like the subatomic glue of the story. The whole point of the story. Basically, they are atoms that can they allow for all sorts of possibilities, like the rise of the mammals, rise of the apes and the human beings, and the autistic folk as well.
Yeah.
And
brilliant.
And yeah, that's. And that is actually another tribute to 2016, a random tribute, but yeah, it's. Actually, what I did was, I just added the number there, blended it in with the rest of the images. But as you can see, that's Arthur again, and he's this is what he's looking for in life. That's what he's hoping to achieve.
Does your mum want to come and say hello on camera? Does she know we're recording?
Oh, okay.
Does she want to come and say hello? Do you want to ask her? Where's she gone? Oh, she's gone now, is she? Next time, can you hear me, Samuel?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, okay. Next time, ask your mum if she wants to come and say hello.
Oh, okay. Mom, you want to say hi?
I don't know if she knows that we're recording. She sounded like she was whisking something.
Mom?
That's all right. No, it's fine. It was just because she was in the background. We don't need to call her. Hi.
Yeah,
hi.
Well, you were there, so I thought, did you want to come and say hello? Because we're recording.
Oh.
So I didn't know if you wanted to be on camera or not.
Yeah, just to say, he's very enthusiastic, isn't he?
Yeah, I try not to give people the wrong idea, but yeah, you could say that.
Of course. Well, the main thing is that, and what I teach my son is to be himself and be authentic and unapologetically. And, that's what my channel is about. It's about being authentic and not being afraid. And you epitomize that. So, yeah it's fantastic.
Well, there's mixed feelings on that one.
Okay. Okay, where were we? So we've had a look at your artwork, which is fantastic. Okay. And one of the things that we talked about was how you manage anxiety.
Well, it's not very simple.
A lot of autistic people do struggle with anxiety. And sometimes there isn't even a trigger for it; it just happens. So
depends on with me. It depends on my situation. So my dad's got an operation coming up. I don't think I can go on holiday yet. It does. See, there's reasons, and it built up to the reasons why I get a bit frustrated with things sometimes. Frustrated with the situation in life that I'm dealing with or up against. But when I actually saw that Tony Meets Nina script, then I thought about BMix, the group I'm actually going to go and be part of in Canterbury at some point this month or the next, sometime this summer. And they're actually I think they're actually a group of special needs people who want to basically achieve career goals. For instance, if they want to do filming, or they want to do songwriting or lyric writing, or voice acting, or even radio play, radio
You would
drama.
be amazing at that. You
Yeah,
would be fab at that.
of course. See,
Because
my
you
accents.
do all these different voices and all these different accents and stuff.
Well,
And you
accents are
cracks
just
me up.
voices in themselves. For
Yeah.
instance, you mix a voice and an accent together, then yeah, everyone's going to think you're a sort of like a voice actor or a TV star or something.
Yeah.
For instance, when I actually do the Irish accent,
Yeah.
this is what it sounds like.
Come on.
Well, I tell you right now, we'd be doing twice as much money as we would from so much money from our art as we would from our stories. Maybe if I time lower. And the other character might actually be Russian in this scenario, and he goes, "This is not about the money, and you should know that. You think this is a game, my friend, and I blame myself for not being honest with you, for not setting you straight. But this is no game, okay? I don't know where you got that concept from, but I want to know exactly where you got it from. See,
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's excellent. So, sorry, just bringing it back to the anxiety again. So
Yeah.
you create different characters and you do different voices and kind of
Yeah.
create scenes and things like that. Does that help with the anxiety?
It depends on what I'm telling myself or how I feel or how it seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it can be a bit of a struggle. Depending on my situation. But if I see some hope there, then it does actually the anxiety seems to go down. Because people are always looking for something to look forward to in life. That's what my anxiety is probably mostly about. Because sometimes I feel with anxiety, some people, especially in my case, they feel like they might not be able to look forward to anything again. Things are going to exacerbate in the future. They face a very grim future. They need to avoid it. That's what anxiety does to people. They feel like they're trapped.
It does.
And that's how I had to deal with my issues. But when I actually see, as an artist, I can actually I've got so much more to achieve in life. I mean, obviously there's a lot to accomplish with like, for instance, opportunities, parts of things I wanted to try and get off, trying to obtain from goals and so forth. It's very difficult to put into words, I have to admit.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely love your motivation. I do.
But yeah, mostly opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that we talked about, you said to me, was that when you are experiencing the anxiety, you know that it's going to be temporary, so you speed up. So you might physically, or like you talk faster.
Well, I can't really talk faster if I see. Usually and no one else wants me doing this. Usually I actually drink about but I usually drink about 2 or 3 cups of coffee. Sorry, I'm just scratching my
Caffeine, does it? Caffeine makes you talk faster.
Yeah. But part of you thinks that doing that will help to speed things up, so then you don't have to experience.
Yeah, see, in the short term, it does seem to have a positive effect in the short term, but in the long term, it just, you do come down. See, when you're that high, when you're as high as that, very high, so high that obviously, your heart's racing, and obviously you've got the energy to deal with these issues, and you feel like a different person. See, the only way from there is down. So.
Yes.
It's sort of like a roller coaster. It's I find it very difficult to explain it any other way apart from that for now. But yeah, that's what it's basically like. It's like a roller coaster.
Coffee's not the ideal thing to drink when you have anxiety. So actually, sometimes it can cause the anxiety. The caffeine.
Yeah, it's actually, well, I mean, I've had anxiety before I ever started drinking coffee in 2018.
Yeah.
But yeah, I suppose it does actually. I think what it does, it makes it worse. That's what they keep telling me.
Yeah.
I suppose my anxiety might overlap with a little. I don't know if I've got it, but I've never been diagnosed. But I might actually have OCD. I don't know exactly quite I don't exactly quite know if that's true or not, but it might. But I was told it sounds like something I've got. It sounds
Yeah, OCD is one of those things that laps over very often with autism anyway. So it would be part of the autism spectrum that you experience. So OCD, it can very well be a part of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they diagnose it separately, but it would be interesting to know. Okay. So moving towards the kind of back end of the recording,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, what advice would you give to other autistic children? What, I know we talked about this before. I don't know if you remember what you'd answered.
Yeah,
what
I
advice
think
would you give to other to
advice I would
autistic children? Yeah.
Well, you
That
need to
might
do
help.
what works best for you, and you're pretty much you're far from alone. There is always help out there, and if any one of you is struggling, well, need I say more? There's always gonna be help out there. You just need to do what's best for you and hang in there until obviously, and believe me, I've seen difficult. It can be difficult. I've been a victim of difficult before.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's great. Really good advice. And what about some kind of advice or message to people that don't understand autism? What would you say to those people?
Autism isn't necessarily. It's not something you can stereotype. Everyone with autism has and it's not something you can just get in one ethnicity. For instance, you can get it in any ethnicity. It can be in any individual. It can actually be in any kind of diagnosis or condition. I mean, or any level or severity, which can be mild or extreme. It's sort of like trying to label people that are probably tall or probably very short. Some people are in between.
Yeah.
Sort of. So with me, for instance, I mean, for me, for instance, that there's a bit of a see. I actually draw. I call them biracial mammals. Half. For instance, there's a character that's half squirrel, half rabbit, half mouse. And I know it sounds a bit weird, but you could think of autism as a biracial spectrum. It's not necessarily that you're never going to be fully this or fully that. So, yeah, it's sort of a biracial, diverse field, and with diverse diverse sufferers of it, or diverse people in general, but diverse characters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what
Yeah.
autism is. It's just a different kind of spectrum where the differences might be extreme or not at all. Because I actually work with a gentleman. He works with me, and he's autistic and not very. He's less autistic than me, very mild. You wouldn't even know he has autism because you can't see it in him and you can't notice it in him. The only way I found out is that he told me.
Okay. Yeah. One of the things that I noticed about you and I noticed about my son is that you're very empathic and empathetic. And my son is as well. And I think a lot of people don't quite have the right idea about autistic people. They think that they either don't have feelings or they, they're very black and white. And yes, there is a logical mindset, but you have very deep feelings, and yeah, go on.
Also, yeah, see, that's another thing. See, like I said, not every autistic person is the same, and and some of us do have feelings, but they get manifested in a way that average people don't usually manifest them in. Sometimes because of our situation, because autism can be a situation, but it can also be a blessing or a curse. It can be either one, or it can be a mixture of all those things. You can't really be sure. And Asperger's actually overlaps with autism, and I have that.
Yeah.
But I'd say Asperger's people tend to. I've seen some messages where they get put through mentally get psychologically put through more difficult situations, and they struggle more with their feelings. I'd say that's what because I'm guessing that I'm guessing some of them do suffer with that, but not all of them do. Asperger's is another diverse. Sorry, another diverse.
Yeah, no, that's okay. And it's not about not feeling. It's more about not knowing how to express or show those feelings very often. And so you really can't tell the difference between one autistic person and another. You know, it's so, and I just wanted to come back to that you know that you're also very individual in the same way that you know the atypical people are so individual as well, and you've got so much to bring to the world, and you've got incredible insight into the world, seeing the world in a different way. And I just absolutely love that, and those are the things that I try and encourage with my son as well. And hopefully he will have the same motivation and the same zest for life that you do as well. So, you know, if my son grows up to be like you, he's 11 now, then, you know, I'll be a happy mummy. So well done to you, and well done to your mum and dad.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm not going to brag about my parents, but this is how they raised me. They I actually turned out okay.
Yeah.
And see, I'm 29 now. I mean, we obviously, because my mom struggles with a lot of things as well. I'm not talking about autism. I'm talking about her realistic, average situations, and they are actually quite real, because having an operation with my father, and you know all that, and I've got a little niece called Freya, but yeah,
That's
and
yeah,
very nice. She's very beautiful.
These things happen in life, don't they? And you know, it's just, you know, we be there for family as much as we possibly can, don't we? But you know, a lot of these situations are temporary as well, and you know, we come together to get through those situations. But I'm just trying to make sure that there isn't anything else that we wanted to discuss.
Yeah,
that is it. Was there anything else that you wanted to say to the viewers before we finish up, Samuel?
No, well, actually, there is something else.
Yeah, go on.
If there's always an artist out there somewhere, and there's always going to be someone with a different kind of talent and a different kind of ability in ways you probably might not see.
Yeah.
And not everyone agrees that it's that it's suitable for everyone. Not everything is for everyone, right?
Yep. Yeah. And even J.K. Rowling, when she wrote Harry Potter, I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, viewers, but I'm sure she was turned down by at least a dozen publishers, if not 24 publishers.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that, but I did hear it was quite a lot of publishers.
Yeah. So, you know, sometimes it's about drive, and it's about, you know, getting up when things don't go your way. It doesn't mean that it's never going to happen. You know, we have to keep going and keep trying, and you know, if we really feel that is,
you have to have something to look forward to, and it's never really hopeless. Never really.
No, that's great advice. That's great advice. Yeah. Samuel, I really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much for coming on my channel. It's been wonderful. I really hope you can get your website sorted, because then that way we can, you know, I can send people to your website to see your artwork, and there isn't a kind of central place at the moment where people can see your work. But yeah, as soon as you have that, let me know, and I will let the viewers know so they can see your artwork and see your writing as well.
Thank you very much, Kira. I really appreciate this.
Oh, you're so sweet. All right, well, I'll probably talk to you again sometime. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, bye. Bye.
See ya.